I'm a father gentleman.
Welcome back. I'm back with another collection and declutter video, this time with face products such as like primers, foundations, concealers, and setting products. So if you're interested in seeing what I have and what I'll be getting rid of, just stay tuned. Alright, so first I'll be starting off with my primers. This first one is by Maybelline and it's the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This was one of the first primers I started using when I started using makeup. This is the consistency of it, and it just rubs in to smooth all of your pores out. I'll be keeping this one. I don't really use it that often, but it's a good one for like if I'm just practicing my makeup skills or I'm just like playing around and don't want to use one of my more expensive ones. Next is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. This is one of my favorite primers. I really like how this product has a pump because it really helps with getting those last bits out of the tube. Here's the consistency of this one. And this one, I have dry skin, so I really like using hydrating primers before using a foundation. Most of my foundations are matte, so I really like using hydrating primers on top of my skin first. This primer does have a coconut scent, so if you don't like that, you might not like using this, but I don't find it overwhelming. Next is my Laura Mercier Hydrating Foundation Primer. Here's the consistency of this one. This one actually replaced my Too Faced primer. I was using that one until I discovered this one, and then I started using this one more, but I really like both of them equally. Next, I have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer. This one has a pink tint to it, and it is a matte primer, so if you have oily skin, you might really like this one. I use this one, but not that often because, like I said, I have dry skin and I prefer using hydrating primers before my foundation. This is the Natural Skin Primer from Bahi, who has changed their company name. I'll leave the name on the screen because I'm actually not sure how to pronounce it and I don't want to mess it up. But this is the one that they made specifically for dry skin. This is what this one looks like. It's clear, but kind of has a pink tint to it. It's very, very moisturizing, but I actually haven't used it that often, so I'm going to try to get more use out of it. This product really does smell like a Shirley Temple, and it's a little bit overwhelming for me when I apply it to my face, but it might not bother you. That's just a personal preference. This is the Clinique Pep Start Hydro Blur Moisturizer, and it's actually a moisturizer, but the texture feels like a primer, so that's what I use it for. Here's the inside of the container. It's like a pink tinted product. Here's what this one looks like, and rubbing it in. You can see it's very thick, so it will fill in your pores if that's something that you are looking for. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and it's the one that I'm currently trying out. This one has a slight purple tint to it as you rub it in. It's not my favorite primer, but it's usable. The purple tint doesn't show up on my face like after I apply all of my other products, so it doesn't seem like it leaves a tint or anything on the skin. And as you can see on my hand, it rubbed right in. Next, we have the Ordinary High Spreadability Fluid Primer. This product has a syringe and it's really long, so I don't think I'll have to worry about not being able to get all of the product out of the tube. Here's the consistency of this one. It's kind of like a thick gel. This one leaves your skin feeling very moisturized. Next, I have a deluxe size of the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I like how this product has two caps to it. It has the initial cap and then it has one protecting the actual product. I don't know if the fuller size has that as well, but this one does. You can't really see this product on the skin because it is a blur stick and it's not supposed to leave anything behind. It's just supposed to fill in the pores. However, I don't really like this product for my skin type because I'm already dry and this is very matte and it just leaves me really dry. So I think I'm going to give it away. This is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I haven't even used this one yet, so we're going to swatch it for the first time on camera. Okay, very interesting. This one has a purple tint to it. And it seems to be very moisturizing, and it seems to be radiant too. Ooh. I'm definitely going to have to try this one out more and see how it works with my makeup products. Next, we have a deluxe size of the YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer. This one has an interesting applicator. It's kind of like a spatula. Here's the consistency of this one. I used this primer a lot in 2017, and then I just kind of started trying new products, but I really do like this primer. And maybe I'll buy the full size one day if I'm willing to spend the $50 however many dollars it is. I really like using it with my Bobbi Brown foundation. The last primer I have is from Estee Lauder, and it's called The Smoother. Here's the consistency of this one. I don't think I've used this one yet, but it's thick and has a gel-like consistency, so I think it would be pretty good at filling in pores on the skin. I'll have to try and get more use out of it. Moving on to foundations. First, I have this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation in the shade 400. I haven't used this one in a while because it hasn't matched my skin in a little while. I remember liking this foundation, and even though it's matte, it wasn't a matte that made dry spots on my face start to peel. Especially when I used the hydrating primer, this worked really well. I do remember it being a little bit too red when I first applied it, but after it dried down, it was like a better match. Next, I have the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Foundation in the shade 211. This was definitely a winter shade for me. It's a good drugstore foundation, and I usually use it when I'm just playing around with my makeup because it's not too expensive, and so I don't mind it being quote unquote wasted. I don't mind sitting around in the house in it and taking pictures if that's what I'm gonna do with my look. Next, I have this Tea Tree BB Cream from The Body Shop in the shade 03. This was one of the first face foundation type products that I started using when I got into makeup. Unfortunately, their shade range is terrible. 3 is the last shade, so I'm the last shade. That's actually kind of crazy. Maybe they have more online, but that's what I saw in the stores. They need to do better. This works well for when you just want some light coverage, like if you're running out to the grocery store for a second or whatever. I don't use it very often anymore, but I'm gonna keep it just for the days I just want a light look in the summer. Next, I have the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Cocoa. This was also definitely a summer shade for me. I don't know that the Sephora employee matched me completely correctly, but I did get really tan last summer because I was hiking all the time. I really love this foundation and the way it finishes, so I do want to go back and get one in a shade that matches me right now. Next, I have this True Color foundation by Black Opal in the shade Nutmeg. I bought this last winter, and I don't think it was exactly the correct shade, and I haven't tried mixing it with any others, but I might be able to mix it with either the Fenty one or maybe even the L'Oreal one and get a better shade match. Next, we have this Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation in the shade Warm Almond. This was my favorite foundation to wear last winter, and I'm hoping to get more use out of it this winter. I think it's my shade now, so I think I might actually use this one today. Next, I have this ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation in the shade Dark 165 In. This is the foundation that I've currently been using. I like it so far. It goes on pretty light, but then it dries down to a better match. I think I might have just gotten the wrong shade and might need to get a different neutral shade, but I really like this one. It's been a good experience with a stick foundation. This is the first one I've used consistently. Next, I have this stick foundation from Black Opal in the shade Truly Topaz. I also bought this one last winter at the same time that I bought their liquid foundation, and again, I don't think this was an exact match, but I think I can mix it with either the ColourPop one or even the Bobbi Brown one to get a better match. Lastly, I have this Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation in the shade 6 In. I bought this one last summer, and it was a way better match than the Too Faced one. Yeah, I think that's just not my color, but I made it work somehow. I really like this foundation. Now on to my concealers. So first, I have this Fenty Beauty Match Stick in the shade Suede. I would say this is a matte, fast drying concealer. Honestly, in the beginning of my pregnancy, when I was feeling nauseous all the time, I wasn't feeling very attractive and I still wanted to like look cute for myself and like for my boyfriend. So I bought this just to be able to apply a little bit of concealer and then do my brows and wear some mascara. It honestly helped me so much. It's the little things. Now mostly I use it to conceal my brows. Next, I have two Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define concealers. One in the shade C12 and one in the shade C11. This is the shade C12 and this is the shade C11. C12 is the shade that I currently use because C11 is a bit too light for me. I think I might use it as a base for my eyeshadow, but yeah, C12 is the best match for me right now. Next, I have this NARS concealer in the shade Caramel. So this is the concealer that I am currently using in my makeup routine. It's weird because it doesn't look anything like the other concealers that I have, but this one works really well with the ColourPop foundation that I'm using currently. Next, I have two ColourPop No Filter concealers. One is in the shade Tan 50, and when they expanded the shade range, I got the shade Dark 42 with the foundation stick. Okay, I never realized how different all of my concealers look. This is the ColourPop concealer in the shade Tan 50, and this is the one in Dark 42. This is the one that I reach for most often out of the two, but that's just because I haven't gotten a chance really to try this one yet. It looks like it actually would work better than this one, so I'm gonna have to get some more use out of this one soon. Lastly, I have this Black Radiance concealer stick in the shade 8001. I don't think I've ever used this one on my face, but I think it would make a really good base for my eyeshadow because of the consistency. It's very thick. The last category of products I'll be talking about in this video are the products I use to set my makeup. So first I have this ColourPop No Filter setting powder, and it's a loose powder in the shade Banana. You can see the color from the packaging, and I'm not going to open it just because it's very messy. Well, I'll open it, but I'm not going to like swatch it. So there is a sifter in there, but see. Let's put the cap back on. So yeah, like I said, there is a sifter in there, but the product still comes out very heavily, so that I don't have a problem with that. Like when I'm setting my face, I'm in the bathroom, so I'll just clean it up. Gonna have to clean it up off my floor. I really like this powder. It's very finely milled, and there's no flashback or anything when I use this one. Next, I have this Bare Minerals Mineral Veil Loose Powder. It kind of has like a pinkish tint to it in the container. I think I've used this once, but that's it, and I don't remember my thoughts on it, so I'll have to try it out again and see how I like it. Next, I have this Sasha Buttercup Setting Powder. This was so popular on YouTube a couple years back, and I bought it in, I think, Christmas of 2017. I liked this powder, but it kind of tints my makeup when I use it, and I prefer the ColourPop one because it doesn't like seem to affect the color of the foundation that I put on. But sometimes I set my face before I even apply foundation to like fill in pores after my primer. So that's mostly what I use this one for. Next, I have this Black Radiance Pressed Powder, which I've hit pan on and is very old and which I don't use anymore, so I'll definitely just be throwing this one away. And I didn't use this as a setting powder, I used it as like a powder foundation, but I think it could be used for both. Next, I have this Laura Mercier Sheer Perfecting Powder in number 5, or the shade Candle Glow. This is a really pretty powder that has a bit of shimmer to it, and I like using it to set my concealer, but also on days when I just want some light coverage, I'll put this all over my face, and it gives you a nice radiant glow. Next, I have this ColourPop No Filter Sheer Press Powder in the shade Dark. This is how it looks, and I mostly use this one to set my concealer and the rest of my makeup. It doesn't leave any type of tint at all, and they have these in different shades, so obviously you get the one that best matches your skin tone. Next, I have this double pack of the Urban Decay All Nighter Long Lasting Setting Spray, and I actually got this from Sephora during Black Friday in 2017 because they had a really good deal on it. I think it was like this pack for $40, and one is usually like $30, so that was a really good deal to me. So yeah, it came with 2, and I gave one to my cousin for Christmas, and the other one is still in here and I haven't used it yet. but I have used this product before and I like it, so I keep repurchasing it. But I do like to try out new ones sometimes. Lastly, I have this Cover FX Dewy Finish Setting Spray, and I really like this. I really like the mister on this. It sprays very finely, so when I'm spraying it on my face, I don't feel like I'm overdoing it. And yeah, I think this product works really well. Another setting product that I unfortunately ran out of but love to use is the Too Faced Hangover RX Setting Spray. It's one of my favorite setting sprays to use along with the primer. The combination is just perfect. I ran out of it, so I need to restock up on that product. So I didn't get rid of very much in this collection and declutter video, just the Black Radiance pressed powder as well as the Milk Makeup primer. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. Don't forget to give it a like if you want to see more videos like this on my channel, and to subscribe for more of my content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.